Every single shots hit. I don't want you to get copyright.
What is up, YouTube? This is the Auto Vato. Today I got a nice little video for you today. Today we'll be comparing the GS-350 with the GSF. Now the GSF is on the higher portion of the price range. You're looking at to get a quality one for about $40,000. A little more beat up one for the mid to high 30s. Now this one right here, this one was purchased for $20,000 and it had about 70,000 miles on it when it was purchased. First thing you notice right off the bat, facelift. You have a little bit more functioning aero on this. You got some oil coolers right here. These are some oil coolers that you do not get with the GS-350. These just have some fog lights and some fake vents, but this is all still functional. Cooling is still in there, as well as the big old mesh grill. Not a lot of people like the mesh grill. I personally love it. They both have these little nostrils to cool the brakes, because this bad boy is rocking a 6-piston brake in the front. That is also something that you notice immediately off the back, which differentiates the F, along with this big old F logo right here. And these functional brake coolers, they do not have that on this side right here, but they still got some big old brakes in here. Not some Brembos, but they're still sticky. Quick little video cut for y'all. We have got the engines on, and as you can see, we got DRLs. Mine are currently off actually, because if it's in park, they shut them off. As soon as I put it on drive, they light up. But you can see they both have this unique L DRLs, which look amazing. On day and at night, both amazing boys. Mine is interweaved inside of my front bumper, as his is just one headlight unit. You know, just some extra little flair, but both are nice headlights. I will say this front bumper of this GS-350 is the F bumper, although this is not the F Sport package. This GS-350 has a 3.5 liter V6, which is just running 305 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. So she goes. Before recording this video, my neighbor and I decided to go on a little joyful riding. This baby hauls. Over here, now you're running with the 5.0 V8. The 2UR GSE is what it's called, and running 467 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque. Both are powerhouses in their own respect. In terms of V6, you can't really get much for that price. You can't get an Infinity for 20K that's mildly used, because they're usually beat to the ground. And for Mustangs are running around the same price. You can get a new, those automatic 10s, they go for easily to the 37s, 40s, and you see them everywhere. However, do you see the GSF everywhere? Also, let me know what y'all think about this new mic setup. Hopefully it's not too loud for y'all. Right here on this side profile, you can see I got some aftermarket carbon fiber mirror caps. They look a little ratchet, Timu certified right there. This is what the stock ones actually look like, in that off grayish color. He actually has some PPF there. I definitely need to do that. Let me know if y'all want to see a video on how to put some PPF on. It'd be super sick. They both have this similar wide doors. However, I got these real big side skirts that kind of flare out a little bit that come with the GSF. The GS-350 does not. Tire setups are not similar with these vehicles. In the GS-350, it's rocking 245 from the factory all around with some 18-inch rims. On the GSF, we are getting a 19-inch, and it did come for 275s from factory. I just got a 285, stuffed it back here. Fits great with 245s up front. They both have the similar lock and unlock features on this vehicle. Just a little tap locks it, and here unlocks it. Yeah, both the features. They both have this chrome outline on their door panels, which I like. I think it adds a little luxury to the vehicle. And moving back further, they have very, very similar rears. The GSF, however, has a little more flair. It just has some carbon fiber Has a carbon fiber spoiler, super small. I know Nia makes a nice little duckbill body kit, which I really like. The taillights are practically the same on these vehicles, and one of the biggest distinguishing features is the quad tip. These offset quad tips really show some aggressiveness features to it. I like the way they look. This is not factory. This is the gritty axle back exhaust that I have back here. The stock exhaust is one of the biggest features I needed to get rid of at my GSF ASAP. This is a V8. You want to hear the V8. And the stock exhaust, the exhaust tip kind of gets smushed. Toyota said this was for clearance issues, which just made the V8 sound very, very quiet, which some people want that. Some people like the sleeper build. I personally like hearing my V8. Now coming back to the back of the GS-350, you can see the very similar taillights. Got some kind of L symbols inside of the taillights. Looks phenomenal. And no quad tip. That is once again one of the features you can tell automatically right away. Has the GS-350 badge in the back, and they still have functional exhausts back here. I know some like Audi, BMW, they just put these in here with no exhaust coming out. So, you know, seeing still exhaust come out is always nice. Entering the inside of the Lexus GSF, one of the first things that you notice is all the intricate blue stitching that's along these. On inside of this door panel, you always get suede. You get suede here, suede on top of the dash, get suede here on this armrest, suede just everywhere. Have some nice leather. The seats are bolstered in this unique stitching with this big F logo on the headrests of every seat. The digital cluster, it's pretty interesting. It's not as similar as the one in the LFA. When you start this vehicle up, it does not move like the LFA, where it kind of has this nice analog, but all of this is still very satisfying to look at. You do have the modes that Lexus is well known for. You have Eco, you have your normal, you have your Sport S, and then your Sport S Plus, all which change the dash every time you go into something else. That's Sport S, that's Sport S Plus, and that's Eco. You get this nice little screen to let you know that you were burning down trees. You get more carbon fiber along this, and then you have your TVD that I was mentioning, as well as if you live more up north. I'm in Texas, so we ain't never got to deal with that one right there. Entering the Lexus GS-350, you will notice there's so many similarities to the interior of this vehicle. You still get leather seats, heated and cooling, as well as the GSF, forgot to mention that, but they're not as heavily bolstered. I will say it's a lot more comfy, a lot more ready to cruise. When turning on the vehicle, get some nice analog. And there's so much similarities to this. Being in this was actually the first Lexus vehicle that I drove. Being in this vehicle, my neighbor actually allowed me to drive this for the first time ever. He was like, have you ever been in a Lexus? I was like, nah, what is that? Hopped in it, and my life was changed. The comfort when driving this vehicle is really unparalleled for the price. Once again, he has purchased this vehicle for $20,000 for a luxury vehicle that has given him 0 issues. You can't compete. You get some nice leather, still nice stitching, just leather, not the carbon fiber. Get some wood. Feel like you're a Benz owner or a Caddy owner. You know what I mean? And boom, the iconic modes that Lexus is known for. When switching it, you still get this nice little notification that you're going in a different mode. Or in Eco mode, you get to see a nice little Eco mode sign, but there's nothing that changes on the dash. You still have that beautiful snow option if you so please to burn out in the snow, which I don't really see people doing in a Lexus, but you never know. This one does not have the Mark Levinson sound audio system that is in the GSF. It was an option for the GSF, and I will say if you are looking for a GSF, I would get one with that audio system, because as soon as you're like, oh, I don't feel like listening to my V8, which you don't really do, you get to now bump. I've recently been bumping a lot of Best Day Ever, my Mac Miller. Mac Miller, my man right now. And if things look a little darker in here, that's probably because he's rocking 2.5% in the front, 2 layers of 5% in the back, and in the rear in the trunk, and 5% in the sunroof. So definitely a notable change in here. I'm only rocking 15%. As I was talking about the Mark Levinson sound system, you can see one of the distinguishing figures that you would know that you have a Mark Levinson is that factory 10 that's in the back. Now, my neighbor does not have this Mark Levinson sound system. We have found an answer. Mr. Fred got bored one day and decided to put 2 beautiful 10s inside of this vehicle. So the standard system that does come with the GS-350 sounds amazing. I remember hearing it when he first came in there, and it still bumps. It has that 10 that you can see back there. So now with 2 10s, it goes. This is my wonderful neighbor, Mr. Fred, and he's about to show you the back seat space inside of the GS. Now both have similar rear seats, so he's just going to demonstrate his space when he's sitting behind himself.
I'm 6 foot and about 290 tacos.
And fitting snazzy in there. You can take a nap in there, Mr. Fred.
Yeah. And you have cutouts right here for your knees.
Nice little space. Take the kids to the park. Nap up. Oh.
I have about this much headroom before I hit the roof.
And being a Lexus, it is for the older folk. They are compact with a lot of safety features. They both have the backup sensors. They both have backup cameras. They both have cruise control. The GSF has adaptive cruise control. They both have lane departure. They have automatic windshield wipers. It's about everything you need in a vehicle. And talking about the suspension of both of these vehicles, they are both rocking double wishbone suspension. One notable difference that the GSF has is it has a torque vectoring differential. The torque vectoring differential on the GSF allows it to where if the outside wheel is starting to lose a little bit of traction, it'll put more power on that side to give you more power to go around that corner in a stable manner. This GS-350 does not have that. So if you're giving it the beans around that corner, you very much can fishtail and lose control. So this is like an extra safety feature to have on the GSF, but both run incredibly around those corners, being a rear-wheel drive vehicle. So both of these vehicles are phenomenal for their price range. In terms of uniqueness, I know that not many people own a GS. This is once again the GS-350 and the GSF.
If you're needing a family touring vehicle that beats much daily traffic for $20,000, I can't say there's a better option than the GS-350. The GSF just plays that double role of daily commuter to race car in a much higher degree. However, it does come with that price increase between the mid 30s to the high 40,000s. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you stuck all the way through, you're a real Vato. And I just want to say have a great day. Peace out. Let me know if y'all are trying to see any more racing content. I can take both of these out to the back roads, drive both the GS350 and GSF. Let me know if that's something up y'all's alley. Take care.